bad wolf, guys. All right, so let's take a look at what do we do in a Masonic lodge? The setup, what goes on. All right, so now in a Masonic lodge, which is just, and it could be any building. I mean, even some of the first lodges were actually bars, or the back room at a bar. That's how they started, at least in England. Okay. The ones before them would have been actually great temples in like Egypt and Atlantis, and I'm not sure about Lemuria. But anyway, so yes, there's a connection there with Masons being the first builders. Okay, first ancient great cathedral megalithic builders, manipulators and keepers of knowledge, stars and all that kind of stuff. So they weren't just builders. But anyway, in a lodge, you're going to find that in the east is going to be the person known as your worshipful master. Okay, he's the one who governs the lodge. And if done properly, he should be only the person that walks around meeting and greeting people because he's already put in his time. Now there are, put in his time as far as like, doing like leadership stuff and helping to know the people at the lodge and building various programs and activities. Across from him in the west is the position known as a senior warden. Okay, a senior warden is the person who really should be running the lodge and setting up everything, getting everything done so that the worshipful master, all he has to do is just come in, say hi, talk to people, and entertain. He should not be operating the lodge on a massive level unless you happen to get behind because, sometimes we have shortages in our line where we may not have like a senior warden or whatever else, and then somebody has to step up and fulfill a role. Now in the South, you're going to have your junior warden. Now the junior warden's job is basically a lot of grunt work, picking up stuff, kind of like he's the one who keeps track of like some of the fundings for like the food programs and things like that. So there's also other positions like your Tyler who keeps guard at the door. You've got your deacons who are kind of like guards inside the lodge. You've got your secretary, your treasurer, and then you also have like your organist. You'll have your chaplain. So all these are positions of people, and we don't get paid. Nobody, you don't get paid for these positions unless I think you're like your secretary, because you're supposed to keep track of the books. So those are all the positions in a traditional lodge. Some lodges don't have all those seats filled. If you're a flourishing lodge or a maintaining lodge, then yes, you would have those filled. And then on the sidelines, which kind of looks like you know, like an arena, basically, like a small arena, like a rectangular arena, which can hold about 200 to 300 people. Some can only hold, 50. Just depends on how much money you have and what size lodge you have and where it is. But on the sidelines would be your members, people who, if you're like our lodge, you have people they ask to dress up in like suits or suit coats, nice ties. Especially the lodge officers are supposed to do that. Each lodge is governed a little bit differently. Some people feel more comfortable doing that, some people don't. So it's really up to the master to kind of set the tone. But what I have found is that a lot of lodges are more relaxed just because more members will come. People don't want to come on a Thursday night to dress up, and just to kind of sit there and listen to stuff. So, all right, so what do we do in the lodge? We talk about a lot of bills that need to be paid. We talk about what functions inside the lodge we're going to do to build camaraderie. We talk about what kind of charities and activities outside the lodge we're going to do, how to grow the lodge. And then there's other things like people would also ask me, like, how come you never asked me to be a Mason or whatever else? It's secret stuff, isn't it? Well, the thing is, up until a number of years ago, we were actually forbidden from asking somebody to be a Masonic brother or to be interested. And there's a lot of things that go into it. Whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, do you believe in any form of a God? Are you a devil worshiper? Do you have like a really bad, criminal background and history. Not to say that some of these people haven't pretended to not be those things and gotten into lodges just to find out really what are the secrets, and there really aren't any major secrets. It's a gentleman's club, and then the Eastern Star is the females ladies club. That doesn't mean that people who haven't become Masons haven't gone on to do some very positive things or some bad things. But here's the thing. The good Masons out there who are doing things never seek the limelight or to be known that they are a Mason. They just do. They just help. Unfortunately, some of the ones who have gotten into the fraternity for alternative purposes and means have taken that knowledge and done bad things with it, or have done normal things in life, and then they've been found out to be Masons, and then made the Masonic Brotherhood look shady or whatever else. But in all honesty, unless you see a real Masonic person, with a ring and they have like a dues card and whatever else, they're not going to just walk around saying, hey, I'm a Mason, hey, I'm a Mason. I mean, there's no real point to it. But now that we've passed our own internal laws that removed the restriction of having to have somebody come to me 3 times and ask me, can I be a Mason? Can I be a Mason? And on the 3rd time, I said, I will give you information. I get the symbolism of 3, but it was just a very old and archaic rule that we no longer have. So now, yes, we can ask a person that we feel is a good fit if they're interested in being a Mason. If you're just a regular person, you don't have any Masonic ties like me. I didn't find, a matter of fact, I found out later I had Masonic ties in my family, on my dad's side for sure. But if you don't, what you do is you go on Google and you look up Grand Lodge of your state that you live in, and then a website should pop up, and you contact them, talk to the secretary, and ask her, tell her you're interested in being a Mason. They'll find the nearest lodge to you, and they'll tell you go there on a Thursday night, and you'll get to meet the people. That's pretty much it, the first time. And then they'll give you an application, and you'll be interviewed typically by 3 different people. Depending on how they do it, it might be one at your work, one at your home, one in your natural, place where you go out. Some might all do it at the lodge. It's going to vary. You be yourself. Don't be embarrassed about like your living situation or whatever else, your orientation or whatever else. That stuff doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened, like what it's like, what goes on in the lodge, and that's a little bit more information on how to become a Mason. So if it's something for you, then go ahead and check it out. And likewise, I digress. For the ladies as well, Eastern Star or OES, I'm also a part of that. The same rules apply if you're interested in finding out about being in the female version of a Mason. There's also like Amrath, and for the younger girls, I think there's like Job's Daughters. There's also like, I think, Daughters of the Nile for the ladies too. If you're interested in finding out any information about those things, it's the same thing. Look up Grand Lodge, contact the secretary by email or phone call, and they'll set you up the same way. So that's about it, guys. They will give you more detailed information once you call them about what it entails, any costs or fees, and that's how you find a real association or fraternity. So that's about it, guys. Talk to you later. Bad Wolf over and out.